Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to host today's program. Today's program is our 18th Virtual Leadership Seminar. And our guest speaker is Engineer Joshua Amegashie-Viglo, who is the founder and CEO of Group Hub. And he is also a digital content creator. And he will be speaking on the topic, building digital passive. Word of prayer. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee, with favor upon this movement, grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Commit our guest speaker into your hands for him to deliver, for us to learn from his message and teachings. And we hope that from this entire seminar, our lives will be changed and we'll have new visions to make a meaningful change in our community. Amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, today's program is a lecture series by Youth Impact Movement. Youth Impact Movement is a global movement that has a parliamentary branch and a humanitarian branch. And our parliamentary branch is open in Ghana, Uganda, and India. And for the movement itself, we aim at capacity building for youth in leadership roles, in parliamentary business, in promoting social norms and values, and public speaking. And we have had a lot of speakers who taught us a lot, around 17 episodes and editions that we held, and today we are continuing. As the vision holder for this movement, I'm very excited to have my big brother, who is me times two, who I equally learn from, to come and share with this initiative on digital passive income streams. What he's going to talk about is very important, and we need to take it serious. Just a brief history about him. He's a mathematician, he's an engineer, he's a musician, he's a life impactor, he's a humanitarian. He touches lives all over wherever he goes. He's a very generous person to the extent that he cares for humankind that he even forgets about himself. He's such a kind-hearted man. And those of us who have opportunity to sit with him know that having such a big brother, you have to learn from him and even do more than him. And I must say, my entire initiative, Youth Impact Movement, is glad to finally have you on our platform. Let us say he has been supporting this entire initiative for a very long time, even in the inauguration of Youth Impact Parliament, the third parliament held in August last year. He sponsored us with some funds. So we are glad to have him here to speak to us. So ladies and gentlemen, in just a very short moment, we're having the presentation of our guest. And our guest is basically coming to speak on building passive income streams. And passive income streams, some people might not know, but if such a lecture is taken serious, you would come out of the issue about having only one income. Honestly, you come. You will be able to actually make money from other sources, digital sources, as a matter of fact. So let us take this lecture serious and gain such an exposure for the betterment of our future. Ladies and gentlemen, without speaking much, may I humbly call on our guest speaker for today, Engineer Joshua Viglo, CEO of GrowthHub.
Yes, thank you very much. At least I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that we get help from the beginning. As much as very passively, I've watched youth impact parliament grow up from just a vision into a reality, and now even beyond our wildest imaginations. I'm really glad to be part of this, and I'm glad to see the young people who are deliberate about building a future. When we were young, we used to just hope that things will fall in place, but the reality dawns on us as we grow that every day is an opportunity to build our future and position ourselves and the like. So this is a great opportunity. I cannot come closer. And Jones is my brother, and I'm really proud of you. And we wish to take this thing to a higher level. But I am Engineer Amegashie-Viglo Joshua, as I call myself, and I sometimes I play a little, I crack a few jokes. So if I crack jokes, don't mind. I can be really serious, but sometimes jokes keeps us closer. So I'll tell you a joke. It's not really a joke. It's a true story of the best farmer in the US at some point in time. And they asked him how he was able to get that kind of yield that he gets. He said anytime he buys his seedlings, he dashes his neighbors the seeds as well, so that and there is cross-pollination. Bad seedlings don't influence his yield or deteriorate his yield. So that's one reality about growing up and building up. Maybe you want to build up an empire, you want to become a politician, you want to become a big businessman or something. You have to appreciate that you cannot do it alone, okay? When I introduce myself, I'll tell you at each point in my time the stuff that I did and the people I actually work with. I wish you can come a bit closer. You don't come closer. Or can I come here? Because I have to sit. So I'll introduce myself quickly. No, because now it's my face. Joshua Amegashie-Viglo. I was trained. Sorry about the relocation. How do I put this thing? Shouldn't just kill the power. Yeah. So I'm Joshua Amegashie-Viglo. I was trained as a civil engineer, and then I've had experience working with Silver Star Tower. I retired from Silver Star Tower in 31st. Okay, we got some guests. I retired from Silver Star Tower. Good evening. On 31st December 2023, I was the estate manager at Silver Star Tower, and I'm equally the founder of GrowthHub. So I'll tell you, I think 2012 we started doing this digital stuff, and we barely knew what it would become. But 10 years down the line, it has become a business for me, and it has given me some promotion at Silver Star Tower, and I've also seized some opportunities to get some funds or yield some funds in various models that I'm talking about. It may not be just a function of one thing. It's a lot of things put together that makes this happen. So it's quite complicated to just tell you that post videos on YouTube, you'll get paid by AdSense and you'll become rich. And when you do it, it doesn't happen. You get really frustrated. But there is a way, there is a mindset that I see that content creators, at least the successful ones and the big ones, are putting this, have done, and it's over the results they've gotten, which we want to look into. So I'll discuss a lot of things that have governed my mindset, that have been principles that I've lived by. I believe we inherited these principles from our dad, Mr. Amegashie-Viglo, and myself and Jones, we've been working at this, including our sister and other people that we work with. So I'll just discuss a few philosophies, then we'll see how we can philosophy the digital age and its income opportunities. Okay, so I would like to talk to us about 5 things, or we have to work at 5 things. The first one is personal development. You really have to look at yourself if you want to become really good in some form of revenue from digital opportunities, because you need to build yourself to a stage where you really believe in yourself out to really follow you. So one of things you really need to look at. You have to really gain knowledge. As I say, knowledge is power. If you don't have knowledge, you cannot convince people to join you in anything that you are doing. But if you have knowledge, then people can actually buy into your ideas. You learn the act of convincing people and live in a world where people are curious about your pedigree. So they'll ask you, what do you do? What do you do? What have you done? And I introduce myself. I didn't speak about my parents. I didn't speak about where I was born and the like. I was talking about the things that I've done. So academic development is something again, and it puts you a step ahead. And you do career development. You have a job. I say I'm a civil engineer, which is my career. I've worked at Silver Startup, which is a career. I've worked at Groove, which is a career. So you have to really work at this stuff. If you don't put these things in place, it's going to be really difficult to literally cash out in the digital space. Then you do business development. So I've developed Groove Hub. I've impacted a few other businesses, but they are not exactly mine. I started a new business last December. The name is not yet public, but it's called Lax Hub. It's going to be about real estate and the like. If you follow me on any of my social media handles, just by my name, you realize that I do a lot of real estate activations. And financial development, you have to know first how to make money, and then after that, how to keep the money, and eventually how to make the money work for you. Okay, so you have to begin to take chances at stuff and work things out. Okay. Sorry, I think someone is trying to prompt me. Let me just see whether you can hear me, and then we continue. All right. So you have to look at these 5 things to look at in life. Now, the benefits of personal develop yourself is that you have different level of like, keeps you motivated. You become proactive. You seem to doing a few things before your peers do it. You don't wait till things happen to you before you act and the like, and then you can reflect on your talents. So you have a talent you have acquired. For us, it's music. For other people, it's been different stuff. Sometimes sports, sometimes public speaking, other entertainment activities, cracking jokes, skits, and the like. Okay, those stuff are there. So you have to really look at that and build your talents. So when you're doing personal development, you're building your talents as well. And the thing about talents is that they can give you an opportunity overnight. Your talents can literally just make you blow up someday. So don't give up on your talents. Then it defines your existing skills. So for us, I don't know whether Jones has said it before, but our dad was an interesting speaker, public speaker. But for myself and Jones, we couldn't really talk much. But over the years, as we had to develop ourselves and engage in more activities, I believe that our public speaking skills have really improved, and it's going to even get better with time. So it's a great place to find yourself. And then the next one is you become self-aware. So I can speak of my faults. I just admitted that I am not too good a public speaker, or I wasn't, and I am developing and I'm building up. So you have to appreciate your weaknesses. You don't have to do a placard and show it to the world, but he that is foolish and knows not that he's foolish, is indeed foolish. But if you know, you have become a step wiser to become a step closer to becoming wise, because now you begin to seek wisdom. Okay, so it's a good place to be. And then you can actually work such stuff out. You become really self-aware. Self-awareness, sometimes maybe you're dressing and your personal grooming, your personal hygiene, okay, your social relationships, all this stuff come together, and you need to be really deliberate about this stuff, okay? And then you become resilient, especially for digital revenue and digital passive incomes and the like. There is going to be that point where you will be tempted to fail. It's going to take so long. I'll get there, but I need to tell you that you need to be deliberate. You need to be strong. You need to not give up. I've been on Groove Up for 6 years before we actually started making revenue from it. We didn't even know that I could make revenue and the like. So you have to get disappointed. We thought there was some kind of monies. If we get it and we invest it into the business will become profitable the next day, or like the business will become like a global business. But we got those monies, but it never did. Okay, so you shouldn't give up on yourself and all the things that you do. You have to be deliberate about that. Now, sorry. So the types of career that we have. So there's the talent career. So for me, Groove Up is a talent career. I'm a musician. I've been playing bass in school and the like, and it has become a career for me. Then I've schooled. So I studied civil engineering tech. So that's what I learned in school. So that's my educated career. That got me my job. And then inspiration is the people that I've met. So I've met YouTubers. That's why I'm discussing this. I've met people who have made money on social media. I've watched some of them, their videos. I've not met them, but we've watched so much of their videos. Sometimes we feel we have a personal relationship. I know you feel this as well. And then opportunities. Sometimes when COVID came, a lot of things became digital. So for me, that actually gave me the opportunity to fully explore the digital space, because a lot of things that we couldn't do, we could now give them a try. And then, for example, if you stay abroad, UK, US, it's way, way easier to harness digital opportunities. In Ghana, we at some point were even making some digital revenues, but we couldn't liquidate it. You get it. But now, when we make some digital revenue, for me, at least in my case, it drops in my account immediately. There are some other platforms that I am not able to liquidate it in Ghana. So, for example, Amazon, I need someone in the US because of the credentials needed to disperse the cash. So for Amazon, the money drops in the US and then the person sends it to me. So that means that to make revenue on Amazon, if you're in Ghana, you are handicapped. Okay, so you need support. So opportunities can really influence your career and what you will pursue. So you need to be deliberate at that and be on the lookout for one. Okay. Then the next one is you need to look at areas of improvement and development. So you need to work on your time management, especially all of us are of working age, I believe. We go to school or we go to class and we come back. And then we are trying to work on this. And just yesterday, I was trying to tell someone you can do more on social media, and they were so sure that they were too busy. So you have to do time management, because we all have 24 hours. And I can tell you for a fact that there are people out there who are doing 2 times more than we are doing. So why not? It's because we don't manage our time for different reasons. Okay, so we need to look at that as well. And sorry, my keeps buzzing, and I have to look at all those people. Are you getting my feed? Okay. So I have to just look at these 2 people quickly, and then we'll continue. All right. So relevant experience, you need to learn. There are some things you cannot just do it on first try. So you work with someone, get opportunity, learn from their mistakes and the like. Then you need to be self-motivated. I think I spoke about that in the previous slide, that it's not going to come overnight. This is more connected to resilience. You need to communicate. Okay, you need to take records, and then like track your performance. You need to accept feedback, especially if you want to do the digital business. You have to listen to your audience. Okay, when you start talking about digital business, you realize that most of it is audience based. So if you cannot follow up with audience, get their feedback, and get their needs met, you definitely lose at the digital revenue space. So you have to be deliberate about that as well. Books to better yourself. So you should read books. So this is not fraternal words. I don't think we have all the time to do this, but there is an issue where sometimes there is a little bit of misconception and we miss out on some simple words. We actually misinterpret them because we just probably don't understand them and know that there is a thin line between them. For example, there is just a thin line between the rules and the truth. Okay, so the rules may not necessarily be true. It might just be working for the people at a particular time, but the truth is only one. Okay, then there is difference between movement and progress. I'm sure Jones will share the slides so you can look at it. So sometimes people are moving, but they are not exactly progressing. Okay, you cannot do that if you want to create passive income streams, because every little drop becomes gold for you. You have to monitor every little opportunity and harness it to the fullest. Okay, so there's anticipation and expectation. Okay, sometimes when you're expecting something, you just stay back. When you anticipate, you are actually in an anxious state, a state of anxiousness. Okay, then assets and liabilities, these are both properties. Sometimes if you buy a lot of cars, they become liabilities. You are just paying insurance and cleaning and the like for cars that you are not using. If you have just one car, or if you use your car to do a business, it becomes an asset. An asset puts money in your pocket. And liability actually takes money from your pocket. Then liquid assets and fixed assets. Liquid assets are assets that you can take the money off easily. So a liquid asset is like a business. Anytime you want to withdraw some money from the business account, it's a little easier than a fixed assets such as real estate. Okay, so if you have real estate, it takes a longer time for you to get your money back. Okay, affordable versus cheap. Cheap is poor quality, is made out of cheap substance. So it's not going to cost you money. But affordable is when you have getting quality, then for the sake of one intervention on the other, it's not costing you too much. Okay. Then sustainability and profitability. Some profitable businesses are not sustainable. And some sustainable businesses may not seem profitable. But if it's sustainable, eventually it's going to pay off. So it's something you have to look at. Then habits and character. You create a habit, and then your habits form your character. Okay. So if you listen to these words, you need to put yourself on the more impactful end. Okay. You need to put yourself on the side of truth, not the rules. Because since we are talking digital opportunities, our parents never made any form of income from digital opportunities. So the rule is that you go to work, you finish, you come back home, you get paid at the end of the month. But the truth is that you can go to work, just post on social media, or when you come back in the evening, go to your business, run a bookstore online, sell stuff online, and the like. Okay, so that's the truth. But people will confuse you with the rule. So you have to be mindful about this and deliberate about it so that you don't lose out on opportunities, because some of these opportunities, they are very, very short-lived. Okay, it's like during COVID, the rule was that everybody should stay in their home and wear nose masks. But the truth was that people were selling nose masks to others. People were shipping nose masks. People were shipping face masks. Okay. Then that became the rule. Everybody started buying nose masks and shipping face masks. Okay. But the truth again became that business became obsolete. And then people who were now joining the train missed out on the opportunity. Okay. So you have to be deliberate about some of this stuff. So 10 simple steps to starting a side hustle. So In this case, it might not be digital, but you just probably have an idea that you want to make some sort of revenue from, okay? And side hustles, you can call it, there can be a passive income source that might not be a side hustle. But usually when you have a job and you're working at something else, it's called a side hustle. It pays you, okay? So you need a goal, you need some form of ambition, there's something you want to do, you want to set a shop, you want to sell stuff, you want to, sometimes the goal can even be as simple as you want to be rich, okay, you want to set a company in the future, you want to become a politician, you want to become an MP. Okay, a typical example is Jones. He's studied marketing, working at Hope Technical University. The politics he does seems like a side hustle. Okay, you might not even be bringing much income now, but if you do it well and it pays well, it will give you the opportunity to enter into parliament sometime. And if you get into parliament, you are a full-time politician, sort of. Okay, so you have to look at it as that. Then you need a plan. So usually, a plan is, let's say, a strategic plan. It accommodates time. Okay, so you have targets, you have objectives. That by this time I want to do this, by this time I want to do this. So that if you do this and this and this, by this set time, you would have gotten here. Okay. And then you now begin to deliberately allocate time for that because we all have 24 hours. So if you want to do something else, you have to do it off your work schedule because you cannot exactly do your side hustle during working hours. So after work, then you get to it and you're like that, and you have to be really deliberate at that. And then you assess your skills. So if you begin to do something like that, you might not have the total skills you need. Pardon me. You might not have all the skills that you need to do this, but with time, as you do it, you realize that, oh, you need search engine optimization, or you need to learn how to drive, okay, because your driver comes late and you need to send things across and all those stuff. So you begin to discover skills that you really need to acquire. Okay, sorry, let me just lock this one down. Oh, really? So should I make it show? Or it's okay. Because the slide is showing. All right, sorry. So you need to seek objective feedback and validate your ideas. So people will begin to tell you, don't do this, it's not working. And people will tell you, oh, this is really nice, you should do it. Okay. Now, I was explaining something to someone about negative feedback is that sometimes negative feedback may be that the people don't understand what you are up to. So, especially when you are doing an innovative idea, you are going to really go a lot back and forth with negative feedbacks. So you have to be confident and strong enough to take them and keep them working and rolling. But other times they come as caution so that you pay attention to stuff. Okay. So that's one thing you need to be deliberate at. Then as you have done all this, you assess your skill, you have gotten feedback, you cannot begin to outsource your weaknesses. Okay. So in my business, I don't do the sound engineering and I don't do the video capturing and editing. I can do all this, but I'm not the best at it. So I have partners who do this stuff as okay. That's when you begin to outsource. If you are rich, if you have the financial capacity, when you outsource, you can come as a contract and you pay the people off. But if you are a startup, you don't have too much money. You can actually start by partnering with these people, okay, so that you people share the rewards as it comes, okay. Then it creates competitive advantage. There are other people doing what you are doing, so you want to be deliberate. Look at them and see how you can outweigh them. Then don't mix your business with your job. So it's called a conflict of interest. You want to be deliberate at that so that you don't get into trouble with your boss, okay. Right. So one of the famous productivity writers and one of the biggest passive income earners in the world right now, Ali Abdal, he shared lessons he learned from a book, Psychology of Money. And when you begin to look at digital income, it's not because you want to save the world in the internet. usually because you want to make some extra money. Okay, so you need to understand how money works. Now, I'll just share this quickly. It says that everybody has a different attitude towards money. So you are not going to expect everybody to be frugal or flamboyant as you are. You just need to understand people, let them be in their space. And then do not underestimate the importance of luck, grace, and favor. So when we are doing this, we've asked a few millionaires about this. That is either they made some very, very calculated decisions and activities that made them get to where they are, which usually when you meet the rich and famous people, they seem to be really deliberate and this stuff, but there is grace and chance, okay? Sometimes you just chance upon this stuff from nowhere. Someone just chances upon you, you are traveling, you make a decision that you didn't know would turn out to be what it has become, okay? Sometimes your parents have sown some seed, especially if you study pastors' children. I hope there's no pastor's child watching this, but sometimes they are very troublesome, but things work out for them anyway because their parents have sown some seed, okay? And they like, and then there's a little favor somewhere, somehow, it chances upon you like luck, and then things work in your favor. So you have to know that this is there and it's real. So that if it happens to other people, you don't think they worked harder or your ways are not working. It's just luck and chance that came to them. Okay. And learn to say this is enough. So you don't have to get it all. You don't have to have it all. You don't need to capture the whole market. You just need to work within your space and meet your own needs. Okay. Then you need to appreciate the magic of compounding. This is where passive income and digital income becomes really relevant because if you have a job, if you get promoted, you work so hard and you get promoted, the most they may do is double your salary or triple it. But if you have a digital portfolio, okay, digital portfolio is a lot of these digital income platforms. If you have created something there, okay, maybe you have a YouTube channel, you have a Google AdSense business model, you have a Amazon business, any form of social media or digital business you are doing, it can just take one day and go very viral. Okay. So you have to know that this system is not going to give you just $1 or two every day. A day is coming that it can give you $1,000 in a day or even more. Okay. So you have to be deliberate about that. Then you have to save as much as you can. Like saving is good. As much as I am not a savings advocate, it's a good thing, it's a good skill to have. And then you have to focus on not screwing up. You have to be deliberate that you don't fail because you can fail. Okay, you are not. I wanted to say you are not Jesus, but even Jesus was killed when the time was due. So you have to be deliberate so that you don't miss out, sort of. Okay, and then you should use money to buy your freedom. So this is when you begin to act first because the money you have can now do some works for you and ease up your space so that you can do some more important stuff. You have to be deliberate at that as well. Then getting wealthy is different from feeling wealthy. There are some things that make you rich that cannot keep you rich. If you bet, you can become rich, but you cannot stay rich. But if you invest in real estate, you will not become rich now. Whenever you become rich, you will stay rich. Okay, so some of these stuffs are there and they are real. Then you have to leave room for an error. Yeah, you are not perfect. Everything is not going to work as planned. If you have workers, they are not going to be perfect. They are going to, I wanted to say they are going to screw you up. I hope that kind of language is allowed here. So they are going to complicate your things. They are going to really make you lose out on stuff. But you just need to know that these are real, these are normal. Another word like shit happens, sort of. Okay, that's the easiest way to say it. So you have to be open-minded about some of this stuff. Otherwise, you will become strangers too hard on yourself, which might not be healthy for your, as that thing called, emotional well-being. Okay, sort of. So yeah, you have to be there. Then you anticipate setbacks, which is tallied to the what's making room for errors. So things can happen that will hold you back, make you waste your time, and like then be reasonable, avoid extreme expenses. So sometimes you get ambitious, especially in the digital world when you start stuff like events and the like. You could spend $1,000 and then you make $3,000. There's a temptation to think that if you spend $10,000, you make $30,000. It's not true. Sometimes you spend $1,000, you make $3,000. You're going to spend $10,000, you make $13,000. You realize that if the equation is not even, okay, sometimes you put in more effort and the output doesn't come too much. So you have to really look and pay attention to the output function, what is actually magnifying your results, and be deliberate about that, because if you can understand the output function, you can be deliberate at working on those metrics rather than just putting in more and more. Okay. Yeah, so there's some other stuff. I call them non-financial lifestyles you should adopt. And these are things that may not be money issues, but they really affect your money game. Okay. So eating habits, if you eat 4 times a day, you become big and fat, you can't walk, your energy level becomes low, you are going to be in big trouble. If you eat unhealthy stuff, you're going to have lifestyle diseases. Then drinking habits, if you drink so much alcohol, you are killing yourself, certainly. Okay. Then your spiritual life, I believe there is esoteric energy. Okay, so you have to be deliberate about what you invest into your life esoterically and grow it. Then there's the social life. Social life is your interaction with people, especially for the likes of myself. Not me, for me, I was privileged not to be like too introvert, but other engineers, they have a very inward looking lifestyle. They have very few friends. They've been busy learning, get a master's, get a PhD, become a professor, and the like. They lose out on social life. But the reality I've seen growing up is that there is social assets. Some people have so much friends that they can't be poor. Okay, it's an asset to build. So you need to have friends, and you have to be deliberate about your friends. You shouldn't have friends that weigh you down. You should have friends that elevate you. If all your friends are always asking you for money, those are not your friends. That's why sometimes there are jokes on social media that your friends have cut you off, sort of. Because for you, when you come to your friends, you're always taking out. Okay, when you're always taking out from them, the advice that comes to you is going to work out against you, because the advice is that you shouldn't have friends who are only taking out from you. So if your friends are ambitious, they are making friends that they can also get from. Okay. Now, if you are getting from them, you should be mindful so that it doesn't become so monetized. You can be getting ideas, you can be getting exposure, you can be getting networks. Okay. And when you go to these people, you need to give. Okay. There should be some value that you are putting on the table so that they also love to be in your space. Shouldn't be just you doing the taking. Okay. Should be more of a two-way relationship, not just you parasiting on them. Okay, then you should work out. You need to stay fit. Working out when you are young, you might not really appreciate this, but as you grow and your money becomes so much, you don't want to die and leave your money behind. But if you don't work out now, you realize that your energy really fades too fast. Okay, so that's why you realize that most of the rich people are deliberate about their health, and then self-discipline, time management, money management, all those good stuff that we're taught, you have to really look at them, okay? And then your sex life, you cannot sleep with every beautiful lady. And the ladies, you cannot sleep with men to become rich, okay? So you have to be deliberate on those stuff, because those things put a drain on your energy. So some people are dreaming, that's like a daily issue, okay? If you have a goal, you can have a long-term goal that you're working on something. Then you can have a plan. Plans come with like a checklist. Let's do this by this time. Let's do this by this time, and then like it becomes really specific. And it's you see, plans are not exactly as expectations. Plans put a responsibility on you. Okay, you have to be deliberate about that. Then there is another issue about the business space, is that you need a mentor or you need a helper. So I've heard people, we pray for it a lot in church. You you have to know how to find helpers. So the helpers are usually mentors, someone who is doing sort of what you're already doing. Okay, they can really show you the way and help you ease up a lot of stuff. Your helper is not just someone who give you money, but they facilitate your activities. Okay. Then the former partner or investor is a helper. Then someone who has seen your start. So people who can tell that you've been at this for so long and you are still at it, they can be really resourceful. And then someone who is close to you, okay, is also a good helper to have. Then who believes you have a potential, someone believes in you. Usually parents in their life, they will make good helpers, okay? And then don't be in a haste to take cash from them. Now everybody is scared of people who are asking for money from them. So be careful so that it doesn't seem to be you who is always doing the asking for the money. Okay? Yes, so if you find these people, you have to find a way to retain them. That is, you focus on value first. You give them some value, as I said. You are patient with them. You make time to support them and the like. Okay. Then you develop trust. Okay, and then you be social and appreciate balance. Okay, you know when is their time to call the shots. Then you know when you can also lead to get them to support you as staff and the like. Then you relinquish control. So you cannot go to your helper and always telling them what to do. Okay, it's not them serving you, but the other way around. So you really need to appreciate that. Okay. Okay. So we have types of assets. If you look at the first slide, now we are halfway through. So the first slide are just things that can now become assets. Assets are things you have that put money in your pocket. Okay. So personal assets, okay, sometimes your personal branding or things that you bought for yourself. Business assets, you have established businesses. Then financial assets, you've invested in stocks or bonds and the like. Then real estate, okay, you bought real estate property or something. Then luxury assets is more like jewelries and stuff like that. You can appreciate and you can resell them. Okay, these things are things you have to be deliberate at acquiring if you want to begin to make money in a digital space. Okay, because these are the stuff that you will leverage on the internet to earn digital revenue. That's why we have to discuss all this stuff so that when I speak of it, you can really appreciate it. You need to understand growth strategies. Okay, so sometimes the thing is very small, you can scale it up. It means you are doing market development. So you talk to you guys this in marketing, right? So you are doing market disruption. So Uber came to do market disruption for the taxi business. Okay. So if you really pay attention and you are into a digital space, you have a small car, sign up onto the Uber app, you make some passive income. If you are rich enough and be very busy, you can buy the car on the platform and someone else drives for you. Make some good digital passive income. Okay. Then product expansion. This is when you begin to enroll more and more, or channel expansion. So product, you're actually just getting more and more of the activities, or channel, you are enriching your scope. So you are widening your scope. The thing about the digital space is that sometimes, especially when you are doing AdSense and the like, you will actually make more money from Europe and US. So you sit down in Ghana, but you are deliberate about expanding your channels towards US and America. No, it's like US, North America, South America, all those countries have some offers. Okay, usually we call them CPA. And then strategic partnerships, you want to partner with sort of helpers, people who are bigger than you, to work with them, gain exposure and the like. And sometimes you can acquire other businesses. Maybe they are struggling, you have an idea that they can make it blow up. And then organic growth is just counting on this. One day it can just come true for you. Okay, fantastic. I think I'll just keep this. Is it good to take questions now, or we should keep going? Okay. So non-business and
Can
finance
we please
ideas
have
that
a
are
slide
distant.
after?
So usually when you begin to do this, the other issue about passive income is that you think you are way down. If you listen to me from the beginning, people are tempted to think they are busy or they are not able to make time for it. But we all watch TV, we watch YouTube videos, we watch Facebook and the like. So you have to become deliberate at eliminating activities that are not very profitable to you, activities that are not really giving you any value. You have to become deliberate at energy conversation. There may be an activity that you really have to do it, but it's not profiting you. So you do it in a very conserved manner so that you don't run out of energy. Okay. Then you begin to build networks, okay, because people have to send your links to other people to purchase and the like. So people have to vouch for you. Then you have to also learn how to turn water into wine. So that's like the esoteric stuff, like the church stuff that we spoke about, the spiritual element. Okay, the act of turning water into wine is more spiritual than business, but it actually works. Okay, it's like making lemonade out of your lemons as well. You can look at it as that, and then you have to know that time is cheap by your self value. So people should know that if they call you and you turn up, there's going to be a lot of resolution. There's going to be a lot of positive impact working with you. Okay. Then you have to also appreciate consistency. I think I spoke about consistency as well. As you do it back to back, day after day, it compounds and then it actually yields for you eventually. The emotional intelligence, you have to be careful so that you don't get eaten up by the hostile economic space. Okay. So lack also of personal finance. So when you begin to develop your finance and then you want to scale up your business space, your revenues, usually a lot of people also complain that, oh, I don't have money to buy the product. I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. I tell them that sometimes you don't even need money to buy the products. When I was flipping products, I tell people you have to make a deposit. Okay. So I take your deposit, I go and use it to acquire the stuff, I bring it to you, I take the balance. Or sometimes it's so small, people just pay upfront. So you pre-finance it and then pick it up. So, but yes, you have to keep your finance healthy. So you have to be deliberate about your rent. You can't rent the most expensive room in town. In the like, you have to minimize your cost of rent as possible. You have to go towards viable credit and stay away from debt. Okay, then don't keep fees for too long so that you have to pay penalties. You don't eat out too much, it costs a lot of money. Stay away from side chicks. They like to eat a lot of pizza. Okay. And then you stay close to your most important places. So don't stay too far from work. Spend 30 minutes, 1 hour in traffic to work. It's not healthy. Then you don't do impulse buying. Okay. You only buy things that you plan for. It really helps. And then the other forms of luxury, you have to choose your luxury wisely because luxury is expensive. When you learn marketing, you realize that luxurious products are usually even overpriced. So if you are not ready for them financially, stay out because you might never be able to invest that energy and funds into something that will become a stream of income for you one day. Unless if you look at this from the other side, you want to harness people's craving for this to your advantage. I hope that is okay. So now I get it right. Fantastic. So 3 money lessons you should learn sooner than you wait and learn the hard way. You should never work your way to wealth. You cannot work so hard and become rich. Very few times, but it's not hard work that makes a man rich. Okay, so you have to deliberate about that. The next one is that you cannot save your way to wealth, especially not in Africa. Okay, just look back 10 years ago, the money we saved. It's not any useful. The only thing we gained from saving 10 years ago was learning the act of not consuming everything. Okay, so you don't save your way to wealth. What I advise is that you save towards projects. So each time you save something, you use it for an activity. And then it empowers you now more to be able to save more and eventually do more. You have to beat inflation by putting your money to work. So if you are looking closely, I'm trying to tell you not to idle money. So what we call idling money is that sometimes when you save money in the bank, the returns it's making for you is being eaten by time value of money. So you don't want to put money in the bank for too long. Like you can't put money in the bank for 10 years in Ghana. The inflation will eat up the value of the whole money. Okay. So you have to beat inflation by using it to acquire assets, using it to acquire a business, using it to sometimes activities as simple as buying a motorbike and using it for Okada and the like. Okay. Sometimes buying a small room, studio apartment and renting it out. It can really become really big in the future. Okay. So you don't want to just put money back somewhere and watch it. Then the key to wealth is business ownership. Certainly, any form of business can actually become really profitable. And the greatest financial asset is your mind. So here we are. I'm talking to you. Anything I'm giving to you is mental. Okay. And that's your greatest financial asset because all other things that we may do can be lost overnight. But if you have the mind through the breakthrough mindset of financial breakthrough, the mindset of financial breakthrough, you can actually bounce back anytime. Okay. So always be deliberate about what you feed your mind with, what you see, what you hear, how you program your mind. You program your mind for success. Okay. It really works really, really well. Now, some experiences you experience when you begin to pursue your dreams, you will fail. So usually your first attempt at this thing, you may even do one, you see the money on the screen, but you cannot liquidate it. Sometimes you do it and then the platform shuts down. Sometimes you do it and nobody supports, nobody buys. Maybe you are listing products online. It's your first try, so you don't even know how to go about it. But you don't give up, okay? Then to not go as planned. Sometimes you're tempted to think, oh, if I start doing this, then by next year I'll be rich and famous. 3 years down the line, you're not rich and famous. It's normal. We've all been through it. And then it will take longer than you plan. It's the same thing. And then your family and friends will not support you. They will not understand what you're up to. You're the only one who has the fairest idea about what you are doing. So until they can actually understand what you are up to, you may not come with that full support that you will need and anticipate. Okay, but don't be dismayed. And then you will certainly need more than you thought. So as you grow, you realize that hey, the thing is not as easy as they told us, especially for the digital space content creator. Tell that oh, if you are a computer scientist next year you will reach, but 5 years down the line you still ain't really rich. Okay, that is also a real challenge you have to be doing it about. Okay, then you certainly need more than you thought. You'll be investing more and more energy with time. Okay, so consumer side, this is so long, but usually when you start a business, you need to understand the phase in which you are. People don't believe in you. People have not tried your products. People have not had reviews. So they take time. You are creating awareness. They begin to consider the business, and they want to give you a try. If they enjoy it, they come again. They enjoy your service, then they become loyal partners. Okay, so you have to really look at that as well. Now, the 5 phases of entrepreneurship. So these I want us to look at. When you start digital business, all the digital businesses that have been mentioned, or the ones that you've heard about, they are real. You are just doing something really small. Nobody's interested, and it's not. It cannot exactly feed you, but you have to just stick to it and keep pushing it. It's like a backyard garden. So it's not. You are not doing it because you are hungry. And you are not doing it to come and save you from poverty. But it's something you're doing out of passion. You are passionate about it, so you start pushing it. Then you can scale it up to a subsistence farm or get people to maybe your family and friends to begin to work at it more often. Then it becomes a large scale, it grows with time, okay? So you now begin to employ more people. Then when it becomes an industry, begin to use machines, okay, various machines. So maybe if you're doing a printing business and design business, you're doing it alone first, but now you buy more laptops, you get more people to do the design. Someone is doing the printing, someone is doing the photocopy, okay? I've started a business, okay? Digitally, you can now begin to now give services online and print some of those books and probably ship them or send it to the people. So the digital business just aids this stuff. But what we all want to get to is the automation stage. The automation stage is when the business can work by itself without you actively taking part. You can just monitor from a distance and set benchmarks and make sure that it's still working. Okay. For me, Groove Up is like that. I've been in the Volta gym for the past week, but the studio is working, the digital assets are working. As people watch our videos, we get views, we get paid. I get calls for gigs. Okay, so it's still working anyway. That's the issue about when it becomes automated and digitized. So you don't need to put in as much energy as you used to put, or it's no longer hard work as it used to be. It would be time consuming and like that. You realize that you have a lot of people doing the work, so you will not be as stressed as you were, and you wouldn't be worn out as you used to be when you started. Then this is the rule. What did they tell us now we will do when we become rich, when we grow, how to become rich? You will need to solve a unique problem, okay, and let people pay a fortune for it. Then you can solve problem that a lot of people are facing, and then they pay tokens for it. One of them is selling water. People get tested every day. Then you work 2 times as hard, okay, and sometimes you work 3 times as smart. Just the thing about smart work is that you can actually leverage people to do more and then spend less, save more. This is the rule. This is what has been in the system for some time, and everybody has been even buying it. But this is what works now. So if you really want to grow up, I believe riches and wealth, the difference is that riches is just piling up money in a room or in your bank. But wealth is when you create systems that even beyond your death, the streams still pay whoever takes over from you. That's what the wealthy families and those people have created. Okay, so usually it's about businesses. Start and grow a business, very small business. Don't be too ambitious at the start. Okay, because your first business may not be your final business idea. They are going to really, really evolve. I'm yet to see a big and famous businessman who is still working on his first business idea. Whatever they get known for was not their first idea. You just need to start off and learn and those kind of stuff. Okay. Then you invest into fixed assets. Invest into fixed assets is buying real estate, buying land and those stuff. Okay. Those things will come true for you when you need them. And then you invest into liquid business. So you buy other businesses. If this were US, UK out there, they will tell you to invest to the S&P 500 and those stuff. Okay, you buy stocks of your own businesses that have opportunities to grow. Okay, then raise disciples. So raising disciples, I think with my dad yesterday or 2 days ago, we were saying that the best investment is in people. Okay, these people, if they are grateful, they'll grow up and appreciate you for the stuff you have done for them, the opportunities you have given them, how you have saved them from making some really bad decisions when they were young. They'll attribute a lot of their great work to you. Okay, it really comes true for you, especially when you have political ambitions and the like. Want to do really big stuff, you need these people to come true for you. They need that you need the masses on your side. Okay. Then the last one is craft digital assets, which this presentation is mostly tailored towards. Okay. You have to be deliberate to be growing your digital presence. You choose a social media platform, just be posting there. If you write books, you have to list them on a platform. Okay. There are opportunities out there. You begin to harness Airbnb. Okay, you begin to harness Uber, Bolt, Seller, and these platforms really pay. Okay, when you start off, you might not be too interested. But if you figure it out and you work at it, it becomes very interesting with time. Okay, so you need to build digital assets. Then you have to evolve or die. Okay, times change. So when you are doing this stuff and something new comes, Bitcoin comes and something comes, it doesn't mean that it's a scam. Sometimes we are so scared and like and we stay far away from this stuff. So yeah, I believe there are scams out there, but evolving technologies, new technologies showing up. When you hop onto it early enough, you get a fair share. Okay, so you have to be ready to evolve. Don't be a Nokia. Don't be what else failed to be evolved and died. Okay, so you have to be a little bit about the stuff. Okay, then another top fallacy. So there are 5 top fallacies. The first one is that nobody cares about you. Sometimes we want the world to come down to our toes and kissing our feet and the like that. Nobody really cares. If they seem to do something they want from you, so you have to be deliberate at that. If help ever came from outside, there is something they are drawn to. So when people begin to draw to you, you don't have to tell them. They just pay attention. What are these people looking for that I seemingly have that is drawing them to me, so that you can meet their needs? Okay. Then you are not destined for anything. Craft your own destiny. This I wrote it the way I am writing it because I have met people who say, "That's for me. I don't like presenting online. That's for me. I'm not a business person. That's for me." No, all those things are just statements of mediocrity that we use to lock ourselves down. Okay, Where the opportunity is where you link towards. Yes, there might be something that you are good at, harness them. There might be something that you are bad at, develop them. But don't lock yourself up in any space saying you are destined to become that and it's probably not even working out and you hold on to it until it's too late. There are lots of cool people out there who held on to ideas that were not viable and it became too late. So be careful that you don't put yourself in such a box, okay? Then people get what they deserve. Yeah. So if you don't grind, if you don't create some of these platforms, you just believe that, oh, by the grace of God, things are going to work out. You are going to fall short. And then there is God. Okay. Just to emphasize the esoteric redeems. Okay. So there are scriptures here. I'm a Christian. So in case you are a Christian as well, these are not just worldly stuff that we are talking about. These are real. Okay. And they have worked and they were instituted by God Almighty. Okay. Let me just get us the first scripture and then we'll move on. We are closing in 5 minutes, right? Not for me. Yeah, but I'll be done in 5 minutes. So let me just look at the first scripture just for our benefit. You can look at the rest of the scriptures later. Okay. Listen, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down, estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, "This person began to build and was not able to finish." So when I do this, people say, there was a time someone nicknamed me that I'm Mr. Start Sumo and the like, okay? Because you need to pace yourself. You need to understand what you are working at and the like. Okay, you need to really appreciate some of this stuff, the cost of what you are doing. That's how slow the feed is. Okay, so you need to appreciate this scripture and work at it, and so that you don't get worn out on the way, so that you don't give up on the way. Okay, you need to really be deliberate about this. Let me look at the second scripture. I thought the second scripture was the first. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 2. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 2. Okay. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 2 say, on the first day of every week, each one of you should set. Wow. On the first day of every week, each one of you should set aside a sum of money in keeping with your income, saving it up, so that when I come, no collections will have to be made. Okay, so this is just about preparing for your needs. That's more like saving, but you are saving towards a specific need. Okay. So what I thought was that if you are saving forever, just saving and saving, you are hiding the money. But if you decide to do content creation, you are saving to buy an iPhone. Okay, so by the end of the year, you must have bought an iPhone. You are saving to buy a laptop. You are saving to pay school fees. You are saving to get married. You are saving to buy a car. Okay, it's target based. You don't save forever. You don't just have money. Sometimes people say emergency savings and like emergency money and they're like, fine. It shouldn't be more than 3 months of your salary. And in the economy which we find ourselves, I don't know whether the average Ghanaian worker can have 3 months of his salary saved. Okay. So if you have that kind of money somewhere, I don't believe it's the best. Okay. You can put it into something that will come true for you if you really need that. Okay. So you can do that. For me, when I quit my job, I didn't have 3 months of my salary saved, but I'm in my second month and I'm happy. You get it? And it's not going to get worn out in March. It's going to go all the way because I put it more to an active business. You get it? Listen. Then there's the supernatural. So supernatural laws of finance and economics. That is that decrease of profits, thanksgiving, you sow seed in church, givings and offerings, obedience, sacrifices, charity, service and tithe. This stuff really work. these are ways that God can come through for us and bless us in everything that we do. Okay? Fantastic. So I think it's done. Thank you. We want to take over. We go to. And hear yourself. Where's the second slide?
The second slide.
Unless I have to. That also actually has the details.
Okay. Let me check it. I know where I sent it. That's the using it. I didn't know you were using it.
Oh, but let's listen to questions. I might not need it.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Sorry. So yeah, we want to take questions. How do I make it easy to hear questions if people are talking?
Yeah. So you set up your camera.
Instead of my camera.
Then you can upload that. So you can take that into this.
There is a screen for the listing. Okay. Do we have any questions?
Hello,
Hi.
can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Praise
Okay, so this is crazy. They said I met the presentation halfway,
Yes.
but at least I've learned a lot. If you can send us a copy of the slide, it's still a
Yes.
learning curve for most of us. Those of us who have even been
Yes.
in working, doing ahead of time, we still do make mistakes. So we'd like to
Yes.
have a copy of that.
Yes. So depending on what platform you are on, if for you, praises, I know you, so I'll send it to you personally. But if anyone else is on the platform that has not gotten it, you can just request for it on the platforms and it will be shared by Jones, I believe. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining, boss.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's good learning.
Yes, sir. Let's take more questions. Right? I don't really have to do this if there are no questions. Hello, any more questions? All right, any more questions?
It's not an administrator.
So you cannot meet me. I don't think we have more questions. So should I put more
So you proceed with the next one.
information on that? Okay, so for me, I was going to talk about the digital revenue opportunities that we harness. The biggest for me is social media. Okay, it looks like a playful space, but what happened in social media for this digital?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, Edward. Ask your first.
Please, I
Yes,
just want to
you
talk about
already
the
spoke
slide.
on the slides. You share it after the
I think you
presentation.
covered everything up today.
So you proceed. Thanks,
Thank
Nancy.
you.
Let's talk
All
on the
right.
slide. Okay. So just to share the slides on the various platforms. Okay. But I'll say that for me, the most that I use is social media. But social media, what it does is that it empowers you in the digital space. The way you need a degree to be successful in the older age, sort of, you need social media to be successful at building these digital assets, because the digital assets are mostly a function of audience. Okay. And social media is where you can gain audience. You can go viral and gain audience. Then when you gain this, you can now leverage it to harness your digital assets. So some of the digital ways to make money is you flip goods. Okay, so you do drop shipping. Okay, so drop shipping is when people are selling something and then you share the link somewhere else. Then you sell it to them, you become like an intermediary. Okay, you flip goods, you buy it before you resell it. Okay, then you can also do advertisement and get paid for advertisement. Okay, which is also a good one. Now there is Airbnb, Uber, then there is also leads generation, which you can get paid for. It's quite a big space. Okay, but the easiest to start off with is social media. Then whatever that you do, whatever you have acquired, whatever you learn, whatever you are passionate about, you can begin to put it on social media. So if you have some products for sale, then you can begin to sell it to a wider space of people on social media. If you have a skill, you can begin to become a consultant on social media. Okay, then you now build your portfolio, maybe a page, a LinkedIn account, and the like. Then you begin to push it more and more. I hope that is clear. You have to pay attention to that. So the bigger, at the higher level, you begin to create websites and the like. But I tell people not to start off too soon with website because it's expensive and it doesn't generate its own traffic.
You don't even have a website.
Uh, so you have to be slow at website applications. You can harness other applications, that's the social media applications, Airbnb and those stuff, but you don't have to create your own. As for Gmail, it's like a phone number. Everybody should have it because you need it to create every account. The search engine, if you are listed on YouTube, search engine picks you, Facebook, LinkedIn, so that sometimes people give very unique spellings to their businesses. You cannot do that, okay? Because it hurts people finding you easily. See that you mention your name to someone, they search, they still will not find you, okay? So you have to be careful. Then you should decide whether you want to be using your social media to be chatting with friends or you want to use it to be making money. So it's something you'll be deliberate on, okay? And then the type of apps, sometimes meeting apps, we are meeting by a meeting app. So this has given Jones to hold this meeting virtually. So the digital business opportunity for Jones is when this becomes very interesting, there are 100 people want to join. You can charge them maybe 10 cities each. That would have been 1,000 cities. Or 50 cities, that would have been 5,000. 100 cities, that would have been 10,000. Okay, so when you build these things and people are on it, then you begin to get opportunity to make more. Sharing apps, ads, you can run ads on those apps. Stock exchange. So that's this Empower sites and those things. So, option also. Okay, so we have the stock exchange software that people use and they trade and they make some good money. Dating apps, maybe the third boys and the slay queens, they make some good money. Okay, I'm not really recommending, but it's there. The entertainment apps, that's YouTube for me, SoundCloud, and some of the music streaming platforms. We get paid. Okay, health and fitness. Health and fitness, you can actually these people, uh, uh, those network marketing people, what's their name? But there have been some health and fitness opportunities that came over. Yeah. Who knows those health and fitness people?
You mean
The
Max
doing
International?
Marks and those people, yeah. They
Yeah.
panic those days. Okay, it's an opportunity. Sometimes they go about it the right way, sometimes they become selfish, sometimes it's overhyped. And then sometimes because you need the pyramid scheme for it to triumph, it gets to a place it becomes saturated. Okay. And that's the opportunity when you're on social media spaces because what happens is that see if you're on YouTube, there are 7 billion people in the world, and some of the most followed YouTubers have just 1 million followers. So the opportunity is endless. You get it. But if you have something that is localized, you have to meet the person and recruit him. Your opportunities are tight. So what people didn't know in Ghana was that there were people in Philippines, and they're like who had exhausted the country, who started reaching out to social media guys on Facebook and the like to introduce some of this stuff to Ghana. And the first people who hopped onto it, they really got some good juice. Okay. It's something I've taught in my videos on YouTube. You you have to be an early bird because by the time the space becomes saturated, you would have taken your share. Then communication apps, WhatsApp. Now people sell a lot on WhatsApp status and the like. They just keep on posting status. When people begin to think about something that you are into, if I ask which pastors are the best pastors in Ghana, we'll all think about the pastors on social media. Okay. You're not going to think about your local church pastor who believes Facebook is demonic. And even if he's that good, if your mission is, the rest of the people here cannot resonate with you. You get it? But the people on social media are known to an endless space. Okay, so you have to be deliberate about that. I tell you, if you whatever it is that you do, you put it on social media. Okay. Then use hashtags. Sometimes you jump trends. For me, I don't jump trends too much, but especially soccer, when there is a game of soccer ongoing, you can jump on it. People will listen to you a lot. And then you know when to post. You post when people are home, just between them closing from work and getting home. There was a joke that sometimes we don't get views a lot on social media because on weekends, because the people are home, so they cannot use their work Wi-Fi. And when they get back to office, then they begin to do a lot of activities online. Okay. So the ways that we make money as creators, maybe Google AdSense. Google AdSense puts ads on your platforms, and then people pay them and they pay you. Okay. That's the way YouTube especially makes money. YouTubers make money. It's big, especially for Ghana, because it's dollarized. It turns out to be really big. Okay. But if you go beyond that, there are other ways to make money. The other one is like commissions. So for me, commission is a way that I really make money. I make more money from commission than Google AdSense. So I refer people, I tell people, sometimes, especially the real estate stuff, if I get people to buy stuff, then I get paid a commission for the sales. Okay. Then personal brand. If someone else had invited me to come and give this talk, they might give me some transportation and the like. So it sells. You just keep posting this stuff and then you draw some mileage. Okay. Then you begin to turn your content to a sellable ad. So maybe this slide, I can list it. This slide, I think I have some of my slides even listed 10 cities, 5 cities. If I get 1,000 people to buy it, it becomes good money. Okay. Then I can become a consultant. So for civil engineering, people have engineering problems. They reach out to me. We want this, we want that. Then I get them that service. They give you 500 cities for free. It's free money. Sometimes it doesn't cost you too much to do those stuff. Okay. Then brand partnerships. Some brands can connect with you, do this for us, do that for us, and then you get some good money as well. Then public appearance. So you become like, you draw charisma. People just know you. They become interested in your deal. They become interested in your case, and they're like, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing session, and I have really enjoyed the entire session. I've really enjoyed the entire session, and it is now time to take questions and answers. So if you have a question, you can just raise your hand and I'll call you to speak. Or you will have a contribution, or you want to even make a correction. Just raise your hand like this and I'll call you to speak. This is a lot of information being shared, and there's a lot of plea to you all. Those of you have an opportunity to make an income, but you don't take advantage of it. Yes, so he has opened up our eyes to these things, and to become a billionaire, it's not on salary. No. So please, you can ask your questions. If there are no questions, then I'll ask my question, and maybe by the time I'm done asking my question, you can ask yours. So the question I have is, some people just don't want to hustle. They want to have a stable income, but the risks in entrepreneurship and having additional income is all they don't want to do. No, some people, they just don't want to have anything else. They don't like extracurricular. They just want to focus on one and be committed to that. And all that thing lands them is that they will end up retiring without any backup or any sort of thing. What advice do you have for these people who are scared of taking the risks?
So yeah, there used to be an answer for this, but I'm sorry, I'm sounding political, but Akufo-Addo has disproven that. But I'll just give you the answer. I'm sure there are other solutions to it. So if you are so busy and you don't want to go through the hassle of having to start and lose and going through all those tough realities that I said, you can go in for low risk ventures. Okay, so there are activities that are very, very passive. Sometimes it doesn't even cost you too much money, but those kind of people actually have money. Okay, yeah, but sometimes it doesn't cost you too much money. You don't need to pay attention to, you don't need to be monitoring it. Okay, you can just stay back and cash out. And the most of that kind used to be government bonds. Okay, because government bonds, the government will certainly pay you. You just put your money there and be getting your certificates monthly or quarterly or annually. But up until haircuts, which I had never witnessed before until it happened last year, government bonds used to be the most secured. But when the haircut saga came, you realize that that advice became nullified. Okay, I believe in other countries it is. So that works. The next one would have been maybe acquiring of real estate, which also would have been minimum stress. You just buy a property and be collecting rent. Like, but it's not so minimum, but it's real. And in a place like Ghana, there is litigation in the likes. So it might not always work, but at least the risk is as minimum as it is. Especially if you get trusted partners, you are good to go. Okay. Another thing of that sort is buying shares. If you are abroad, buying shares S&P 500, you certainly not lose because those businesses are always on a good trajectory and they are not going to come down in any way. Okay, so if you are so busy, you can look at a place like that. Bitcoin would have been cool, but when I tried Bitcoin, it didn't seem very easy. It's a sophisticated space. So, but if you can look into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin is also getting to its peak. So it's going to plateau very soon. It will no longer be too interesting. The thing about this is that the higher the risks, the lower the returns. The lower the risks, the higher the returns. So sometimes you just want to beat the losses due to time value of money. Sometimes it's as simple as putting your money in a savings account other than a current account so that you get a little bit of interest so that the money doesn't lose its value completely. Okay. But I believe the easiest and the best is real estate assets. And if you have children, you get them the best education. Even if they grow up to become idiots, you know that you tried. But it actually works. If one of them turns out really good, you cash out really big. You help people, a little bit of charity, a little bit of God's work and the like. It works. Okay. Yeah. But these are the scientific ones I've shared.
Thank you. And my last question is, when it comes to social media, building that digital value on social media, getting followers. Some people have been on social media longer than even the current people who are making money from it. But they equally post, but it's just not hitting. It's just not picking up. And is it like the luck has abandoned them or they are not doing something right? Because sometimes you stated in your lecture that sometimes it is by luck and sometimes it is by the hard work. But some people have tried all this and it's just still not working. Please, what do you have to say about that and any recommendation? Because people are envious that they have heard that people are really making a lot from the YouTube and the TikTok. And they are making videos every day, but it's just not picking up. They are making videos on YouTube every day. but it's just not picking up.
You know, I had an answer in mind until you said they are making videos every day. But I'll say something. Social media boils around two and two things. I don't know why I'm saying two and two things, but let me just tell you. I hope it will make sense as I elaborate. One of the two and two things is this: social media, you need to be consistent. Now you are saying they are making videos every day, but I would try to digest why they don't seem to be working out. Okay. The second one is you have to give value. So if you are making some video on social media, and social media, both the algorithm and the viewers cannot appreciate the value in the thing, you are not going to get views. You get it? So if you are doing something that we don't appreciate the value consistently on social media, you watch it. But if you are doing something that people really want to watch, then the algorithm is going to pick it as they begin to jump on it. But there are two other things. So that's the other two, and the other two of two things. The other two things is quality. Those days when we started, we were all filming with phones, S3, even West phones. But now camera qualities have gone really high, video qualities have gone really high. Audience retention has really come down. People are watching 1 minute videos on YouTube, 1 minute videos on TikTok, sometimes even 30 seconds. So if you make a 1 hour video like a presentation like this, they are not interested. And if you are talking about how to make money, people don't watch. But if you talk about how to spend money, they watch. You understand? If some entertainment activity, people watch. So the people's retention might not be, you see that they don't have value for what you are doing. It goes back to understanding the market you are working with. So someone, Mr. Beast, does entertainment stuff, 100 million followers. Ali Abdal does productivity business and stuff, 4 million followers. I understand. Stoneboy, tons of followers. Someone is doing some nice business, they don't get followers because the people are not too interested. You understand? Then the video quality, they invest more energy. It's good. You can shoot with phones and phone mics. I'm using phone mic to stream right now. You have to make sure that the quality is good so it doesn't irritate the people because you are competing with a lot of people. You understand? That also comes in. And then um, I was going to say something about the last one. I said two and of two things. So the people's, what was the second one I mentioned?
Yeah, so the first talk about so quality.
Yeah, so the quality of the content, and then how intriguing the content is. Are people able to connect to the content? If the people want to laugh, are you making them laugh? You understand those stuff. But the other thing is that sometimes people do some, should I call it prohibited acts on social media that has killed the handle. It's like, sorry, I hope there's no lady here. You see, if a lady gives birth out of wedlock, one or two or three, and she has repented and she has given her life to Christ and those things, the children are not going to die. They will live as a testimony of their lifestyle she lived. Understand? So what happens is that sometimes people buy subscribers. When they buy subscribers, they don't watch your videos. When your subscribers don't watch your videos, the algorithm is going to kill your videos. Then because when you post a new video, the algorithm shows it to some people. If those people watch it, it shows it to other people who watch the kind of videos they watch. So if the algorithm shows it to the people who bought your videos, your subscription, they will not watch it. If they don't watch it, the algorithm will not show it to anybody again. That's why a channel like Group Up suffers, because we switched niche. So the people wanted to learn basic, and now we are doing other kind of things. They will not watch it. If they don't watch it, the algorithm will not show it to more and more people. Some of these people have sold subscribers to Indians who cannot speak English. So anytime they post video, the Indians don't click on it. Sometimes bots don't watch videos. Now I see that on YouTube a lot. They say, oh, they make money by just watching video apps and those things. So it's not real. It's very, very artificial. So the algorithm, when it interprets it, it will not make sense to it. To just kill those videos. For those people want to begin to come back, if they have the energy and strength and those things, especially if they bought subscribers, they have to start a new channel and build it up from scratch. If not, they have to clean up the old channel, improve their video quality and all those things. Get people who are really interested in the thing to start watching. The first few viewers, you have to look for them in person before it will pick. Otherwise, you are going to have a tough time.
Thank you. I thought that was my last question, but I am interested again in one terminology you have been using, the algorithm. This algorithm that we are hearing is carrying us. We don't know what it is. We don't know who it is. If you can just elaborate on how the algorithm is, what is its relevance, what it does, then we are informed that if we want to use the digital content, we must be watchful of that algorithm. Yes, thank you.
As for the algorithm, even the creators of YouTube don't know what it is. Okay, so the algorithm is a complicated way, but what it means is that it is the way YouTube learns the viewer's preference and then learns the content creator's video and match the right video to the right viewer, so that for you who is interested in music and marketing, they don't keep showing you Amegashie videos. So the algorithm picks a lot of information. Those days, it was not too developed. The algorithm was just picking how long the video is and those things to recommend videos. There was a time the algorithm was just picking whether or not people click on the video. That's when clickbait came. People make a video and put ladies turning their back to the camera, their nails and stuff like that. Then the moment people are clicking, the algorithm will think that then the video is nice and start showing it to a lot of people. The clickbait came and the algorithm realized that is not true. I understand. So the algorithm is learning different ways. It's seeing how long people watch the video, whether they comment, whether they like, at what point they comment, at what point do they drop off, do they watch the whole video, do they just watch the introduction? Do you understand? So the algorithm puts these things together to sample the video, to know who to give it to. The other thing it does is also that sometimes the name, some people write the name, the tagging. So if you write a name, football, in a video's title, the video has to be about football. The algorithm will show it to people who have searched football before. And as an intervention, people who have searched football and watched football videos for long. If people who search football and watch 90 minutes of soccer on YouTube, open your 3 minutes of football video and they click off, it means your video might not be related to football. So the algorithm will begin to remove some of those logarithms from the destiny. You understand? So it's a big and complex data of actions and reflexes and those stuff. And it's processing them behind the scenes. And it's so complicated, even YouTube workers are not able to really explain how it works. They can only study how it's working for someone. So for example, my good friend Odima, when he started from him, he was in China, so he made a video about racism in China. So it was a big issue then, so he went viral. The next video he made was about Rwanda being the cleanest city. Kigali was sitting in the gutter. It was intriguing, so the clickbait was good and those stuff. It will go viral. And sometimes people put a beautiful lady in the click and all this, and the ladies in the video, people find it exciting, they laugh, it will go viral. You get it? Then what really made the man blow up was this Black Lives Matter and those things. There's a big mass of people in South America and America, blacks who want to understand Africa, who want to come to Africa, who are curious about Africa. If you're making videos about something that nobody's curious about, those days I was making videos about bass guitar. If I take 10 students in this school, how many of them play bass guitar? But if I make videos about making money, how many of 10 students in this school want to make money? How many of them want to dance to Shatali music? You understand? So you begin to link towards places where a lot of people want. But if you're making content about something that nobody's interested in, our algorithm is going to punish you. So it's not like it decided to punish you. It just can't find people to show your videos to. You can't even understand what your video is about in the first place. And it doesn't know who to even show it to. So it will not show it to anybody. That kind of thing.
Thank you so much. Even I have learned a lot this evening because we have been making videos, but The videos are not going viral, but with this lecture, we now know how to position our content to make money. So, ladies and
Hello.
gentlemen,
Can I
yes,
say
please, you
something?
can please ask your question.
I think I want to shed some little light on the algorithm. If that is okay.
Yes.
Am I permitted to say
Yeah.
something? You see, everybody who has a Google account is like you have preferences. Everybody who has a Google account is already linked to a YouTube account. So what you subscribe is what is given to you per the algorithm. Algorithm in its complex sense is a how do we call it? A complex set of data analysis. So by saying that just by saying Jones prefers Banku, but Elikem prefers uh, Fufu, and I prefer rice. Anything about rice will come to me because that is what I keep watching. So if Jones is always posting videos about Banku, I will not be interested in watching them. So definitely, that system knows that I will not watch Jones preparing Banku all the time. So he will not give that to me. That just like what Elikem. So it's just as simple as that in a layman's view.
Yes.
Everybody has preferences. So the moment you subscribe to that preference, it brings all other related data to it. So
Yeah.
anything that you want to see. So just like he said, everything according to bass guitar is what he listens to. So right now, if you enter into my YouTube account, right, you see
Yes.
anything about what I sell, mixers. By the way, I'm a sales engineer, so like or sales and marketing officer. I sell musical instruments, and then Elikem normally patronizes from us. So anything about mixers, how they react, irrespective of the brand, you will see it, and then maybe uh, strange arrangements, just
Yes.
something to. Those are the things that maybe I watch. So those are the things that will come onto my YouTube page. Those are the first things. So that's what the algorithm does, and is a is a whole system. I think there's somebody behind it who works on the system to make it work like that. So definitely, sometimes it works that way.
Yes.
That's what I can say.
Yes. That's true. That's very true, bro.
Someone else wants to ask a question.
I don't know.
Yes. So thank you very much. I subscribe to all the knowledge being shared here because I myself on my YouTube channel, the things I watch are politics and music. So anything not politics and music, YouTube does not even recommend it to me at the first place because he knows I wouldn't watch. So I'm just checking through recommended videos. It's all about King Charles, House of Representatives, Parliament of Ghana, debates, and then talking about news discussions. Those are things I am interested in, and those are the things I watch. I will not go and be watching cooking videos that someone else watch. So even if you send it, I'll skip it. But each of these videos, if I have the time, I would watch all of them. Yeah, so I think their explanations does really make sense, and I agree to that. Ladies and gentlemen, any other questions? If there are no questions, we'll proceed with closing remarks from our guest speaker, and then my closing remarks and closing prayer. So, guest speaker, closing remarks.
Okay. It's been a good fellowship that I said. I thought I'll get like 50 questions, but it's good that we got some questions, and I hope that everybody's needs have been met, and we can now begin to lean towards some of these opportunities. It's interesting that I didn't mention numbers, but I know content creators that make in excess of $50,000 a month. For me, I don't make any money, but I have friends who do make money. So it's an opportunity, and the best part is that it doesn't cost us too much. So why not lean towards it and see what we can get from it, so that we can also create influence and impact in our communities as we go forward? Because the time is coming, social media is going to be like a SIM card or a mobile phone. Everybody will have one. It's going to be the Ghana card. So the earlier you hop onto it, the better, I believe. Okay, the Internet of Things and the like. So I appreciate your time staying on this for the past 2 hours and not watching Nigeria versus Ivory Coast. Is it Nigeria versus Ivory Coast? Nigeria versus South Africa. Just as equally oblivious of soccer as I am. But yeah, it's because you want to build yourself. So I wish all of us good luck. You can check out my social media handles. There are tons of resources. Sometimes I play, sometimes I'm really serious. And then we see how things goes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, our guest speaker, Engineer Joshua Amegashie-Viglo, founder and CEO of Groove Hub, which is a music production company and also a digital content creator. He has started hitting. He started a new funny series of watching construction accidents, and I'm surprised that he has gotten 20K. And Charlie, you will be seeing it as a joke, as if he's wasting his time. He doesn't know what to do. But one day, one of those videos would hit 1 million, and his subscribers will shoot up. And in fact, the next time that I want to have him, I'll have to get 1,000 to have him to speak to you. Of which you also have to pay 500 cedis to watch. So if you are not visionary to start creating your digital capital right now, it is up to you. I want to say a very big thank you to my big brother, who have been anticipating his message to us for a long time, but finally we have it. It's because I've grounded him and I've decided to get him for my people to hear. And I want to encourage all of you to take what he has shared serious, because he can as well tell you, this lecture that he has given you, people are paying for it 5,000 a person, and he has brought it to you. And if you cannot take the value in this, you are the one losing, because very soon you will charge the next time to give this same lecture elsewhere, and you will be looking for YIP video to watch. By then, we will put a request that we should even hide this one from the public, because the same content has become very expensive to acquire. So if you don't pick it now, it's up to you. We are equally optimistic, and I myself, although I'm working, I've also become a social media manager, managing a lot of pages with links. I know you want to ask how I've been managing YIP pages, but there are plenty, and YIP is always posting. It's a digital capital we're also building for the future. One day, YIP also have 1 million subscribers of people who want to watch youths in action. So I want to thank everyone for joining. Mr. Praise, thank you so much for joining. I can see some of my youth MPs over here. I can see the deputy ranking member for education committee. It's very good to have him here because this is an educational series as well. Honorable Geyi, thank you for joining. I can see the ranking member for publicity committee, Honorable Enoch Nyajo. Thank you as well for joining and still staying up to now. And I can also see the chairperson of our Committee on Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samson Fianco. Thank you as well for staying till now, watching the entire series. So on this note, I bring this program to a close. Let's have prayers. Father Lord, we thank you for this day, as you have granted us this opportunity to witness this seminar, an eye-opening seminar. We call for grace for our guest speaker. For us, he has brought this to us for free. We call that this same content will become so viral that the next time others will have to pay 10,000 Ghana cedis in order to access it. But we will still get it on a special subsidized fee for our people and us. also for what he has shared with us to impact our viewers so that they will learn from it and have passive incomes to subsidize their salaries so that they don't retire without any business or another income coming to them. With this, we pray and we thank you. Amen. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, do have a nice day. Bye-bye.